Are you a professional wrestling fan? Are you a fan of collectibles? Are you a fan of pro wrestling collectibles? If so, you need to head on over right now to Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles online at slowpoketoys.com for the coolest pro wrestling collectibles on the market today. If you're a fan of independent wrestling, you could get this really cool sticker, I love indie wrestling. You could get this cool sticker as well, support local independent wrestling. There's really cool pins as well. This broken kendo stick pin. There's this broken table pin as well. You have the folded chair as well. Really cool stuff. If you want sticker sheets, they have sticker sheets as well at Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles at slowpoketoys.com. Check them out. They have really cool stuff and they are adding items all the time. So you're going to want to follow them on social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Slowpoke Toys. That's throughout all of social media. It's at Slowpoke Toys. So follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Facebook. Again, at Slowpoke Toys, because they're adding items all the time. You don't want to miss out. The holiday season is right around the corner, and you're going to want to get to all your professional wrestling friends some of these really cool items from Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles. Once again, it's slowpoketoys.com and all across social media at Slowpoke Toys. Check them out today. Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Will CM Punk sue AEW? A WWE veteran thinks that he will. So let's read this article here. It says WWE veteran Dutch Mantel recently shared a theory that CM Punk might sue AEW following his locker room fight with the Elite, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. The reported backstage altercation overshadowed the successful all-out pay-per-view event last September 4th. Suspensions were handed out, which included Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Punk's friend Ace Steel, who also took part in the scuffle. Meanwhile, the former WWE champion's future in AEW is uncertain as he is currently enduring an injury that will keep him out for the rest of 2022. However, an internal investigation of the backstage fight is commencing at this moment. In an episode of Storytime with Dutch Mantel, the former WWE manager believes that at this point, Punk wants to be fired by AEW. His reasoning was that the Second City Saints' heart wasn't in tune to wrestling anymore. This is a theory. This is Dutch Mantel speaking. Said Mantel then predicted that the two-time AEW world champion might potentially press legal charges against the company and its president, Tony Khan. Here's a quote from Dutch Mantel. He said, CM Punk was well aware of what is well aware of what it involves of suing someone. And if he sees Tony Khan sitting there, of course, he's got more money than I guess Vince does, his daddy does. But I don't think Punk would hesitate to sue because he's kind of mad at him right now because they didn't take his side, and he may sue him anyway, even if they didn't take his side. Dutch Mantel said. Like Dutch Mantel, a former WWE personality, Jim Cornette also thinks that CM Punk could possibly take AEW to the court of law if the company decides to fire him, especially during his most recent injury. This is Jim Cornette. Punk's been putting up with this S for I'm not gonna say the word curse. S star T, you know the word, for a while. If he's the biggest star in the company, if they fire him, not only are they shooting themselves in the foot, but he'll probably also sue AEW. So far, Punk has stayed quiet after all the events that occurred on September 4th. It will be interesting to see if CM Punk ponders the possibility of filing a lawsuit against AEW. So it's out there. If AEW lets him go, if AEW fires CM Punk, I personally think CM Punk would definitely take them to court and sue AEW. But as of right now, they're doing that investigation of the brawl that took place 2 weeks ago, about 2.5 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and we'll see what happens. It's interesting that CM Punk hasn't said anything concerning the brawl. It'd be very interesting to hear what CM Punk would have to say. He's been quiet so far, as per this article. As we all know, he hasn't said anything. As of yet. So the incident occurred September 4th. So yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Again, I'd be very interested to hear what CM Punk has to say about the whole incident. But I'm sure when he feels the time is right, when he feels it's ready, he'll come out and speak about it. But if they do fire him, I really think that CM Punk would take AEW to court, unless he's trying to get fired and he wants no longer wants to wrestle. As Dutch Mantel thinks that his heart's not really in it, and maybe he's trying to get fired. I don't know. I don't know anything about the situation. I can only go by what's being reported on here on these websites. So again, I like to hear what CM Punk's side of the story, and I'm sure we're going to hear from CM Punk sooner or later. And speaking of Ace Steel and the infamous bite on Kenny on Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega actually was at he was at a convention, and his arm was out, and you could see the bite mark. 2 weeks afterwards, he still has a huge bite mark on his arm, and I'm thinking, how hard did Ace Steel bite Kenny Omega that 2 weeks later he still got a big welt on his arm due to the bite? But Ace Steel, man, if you're gonna get into a fight, man, just first of all, try not to get into any fights. You know, we're all grown men here. We don't need to get into a fight. But if you do happen to get into a scuffle, don't bite. Don't bite. Don't bite anybody. All right. So we're going to leave it at that for now. Anything breaks, of course, I'm watching. And until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.